Howdy. Today, the winter came, and I happened to be almost at the shore of a frozen lake, and it's not very well visible here on the picture, but you cannot see the other shore side anymore, really. It got already a little bit brighter because the snow was coming. And as you can see here in the foreground, it's just frozen, but there's not really snow. And these are very interesting rocks, and you can see it's snowing, and there's already a small snow cover. So maybe they have to wait for next year. But I need to examine a few of these. A little later, it was snowing, and still leaves on the trees. So, what is going on? And how does this seem to be important? Especially for me, because I was writing recently and the paper got stuck. It is, or it was, or maybe still is, I don't know, considered as too thought provoking. There's a too broad spectrum of stuff in that, and yeah, other things. So, since there was, or is, actually a rather important message in the paper for people also here, up in the north and elsewhere too, because just have a quick look at the weather. That's satellite imagery from 12 hours in Europe, and I just want to point a few things out which I think are very interesting. I'm here somewhere, so there has been a huge push from the south, and now there are areas which had gotten very much snow, 40 centimeters or even more, and it is continuing. And there is some talk about the Gulf, or was it, what is it, the North Atlantic Oscillation to get weaker. And if you look at the weather pattern, it is supposed to bring the warm water up here. And obviously, the weather system, they make a turn and they go into Greenland. So there is no more warm air provided from the south. And if you look at this system here, this makes its way into the British Islands and Europe in general. Let's just take a look at some forecast. This might be not the case after all, but just look at that. That's massive. There is a very big system here and a very big system here, and there is this line in between them. Still, I didn't really have time to check it out, but it seems that they are merging. So this is going to be massive. We cannot zoom further out, but let's put on the pressure lines. Maybe we get a better picture of the thing. Yeah, look at that. Oh, 956 hectopascals. Thursday, that's on the weekend. And somewhere here where this low pressure system seems to be a little bit stuck, somewhere there has been once Doggerland, for those who don't know. And then we go into Saturday and there is a huge stream of energy smashing into Spain, Portugal, France, and probably goes through to the Adriatic Sea and plunges there into Italy. And yeah, it's going to be massive. And probably also up here, we're going to get some interesting weather phenomena. So the snow came today. So that's Ilmatiten Laitos, Finnish weather station. What is it? Doesn't come to my mind. Anything or any way. Check it out. There is this red area. Maybe I need to use another color. The red area. But if you look close, you see that's the shoreline. So that's the whole Baltic Sea, which got a lot of interest in recent times. Very dangerous. Meteorological Institute. Yeah. Warnings are valid in the following areas. Dangerous, very dangerous. So now once again, we can zoom in, check it out. So that's the shoreline. So we are inland. Now I'm somewhere here. So now I have been writing about certain geological features in Finland recently. The two thought-provoking paper. So now let me show you something. So that's plate tectonic issues, the influence of electricity in rock forming processes, and the coherent connection between science, mythology, and history of Finland, part 2. Yeah. Anyone can help fill the puzzle. Wallace Thornhill. Anyway, there's a bunch of stuff in this paper. Many things. So now let's go down to some maps I wanted to show you. I will put a link below. You can download it from academia. And it was important to me to get this out as quick as possible. And I try to explain why. Yeah, I'm still scrolling. So now here we are getting somewhere. There is this green area down here. And it's nickel. And I don't know, it's TA. I don't know what TA is. But anyway, just that's approximately the area where the huge amount of snow fell. Just try to remember where approximately it is. Because here is a sketchy overlay. I think I made videos about this. It's just in another playlist. But anyway, we have uranium, cobalt, and copper here on the right side in the east, where I am. And then here we have this area with nickel. And I'm not sure if it's visible on this Southern Sediment Volcanic Complex. That's a little bit sketchy with this viewer. Yeah, maybe it doesn't say it here on these maps, which are from these maps. Overlay. Because this region here is the Southern Finland conductor. Yeah, really. It's really amazing. There's a southern Finland conductor which is some 400 kilometers long and 50 kilometers wide at its widest. And it happens to be exactly the place where we had this heavy snowfall. Which is in a way interesting because usually they tell it's the shorelines where they get the most snowfall. Because of the moisture of the air and the difference between the moisture of the land. Backyard geology. I found a paper about these rocks. I maybe have to show it once. Now I know quite well what they are. Paragneiss. But anyway, we are still talking about the snow, remember? We saw this map. Yeah, I have to scroll down a bit. There's all kinds of things in this paper. If you have seen some of my videos about volcanic plasma phenomena, here you have it. We want to go to the end. I want to read you a few sentences. In order to have a Bronze Century, we still have to go down. Because this will maybe explain why I wanted to get this paper out as quick as possible, because it was intended to get out before the fall. If you have watched my videos, you have seen these pictures. So this is basically, in a way, a paper made or like from those videos. And I have been talking about these as well. There's a satellite or radar picture about weather occurrences and their relations to weather. Yeah, I think we are getting there. Maybe you have to start from somewhere here. A sudden increase of telluric currents, let's say far over what is assumed by experts to be possible today, could have large implications in many places, not only in Finland. The interactions between Earth and sky could possibly be monitored much better with Langmuir measurements or something like atmospheric magnet resonances. Active volcanoes could be a good way to start because the energy fluctuations could often be also observed with bare eyes just by looking at the clouds. For comparison, the understanding of weather from an electrical rather than from a chaotic point of view has practical applications in terms of predictions. The author tries to raise awareness about this topic not only by making videos, but also by trying to show the mechanics with the tools available. Oh man. Still, it was the wrong one. So now, this was a pity. It broke the whole. What was it? Story. Going to searching again. Now, here we are. That's the picture we are watching. And remember the hazard map in southern Finland. So now, where the mechanics with the tools available. You find videos about this. The investigations of how those geological imprints in Earth's mantle affect weather patterns are ongoing, and possibly new insights or thoughts will be provided in part number 3. It's under construction. Maybe it's gonna be part 4, I don't know yet. Many things were left still out of the picture or got touched only briefly, but with this paper, the author hopes to spark interest in these topics. As a possible example of how ancient patterns are still in use today, the author, me, still would like to challenge the open-mindedness of the reader. One more time. Most of the patterns used... No, I read this already. Most of the patterns used still today were seen and otherwise experienced by our ancestors. Similar stories of what happened in the past are told all over the world. Things like floods, comets, winds which carried away mountains, raining brimstone, etc., are things which should be understood within a much bigger picture. Summer is about to end here in Finland. Yeah, when I wrote that. And there is a possibility of having a fierce winter ahead. Yeah, it came today. Halloween. Time of the witches. Yeah, so let the witch still talk a bit. This is the perfect introduction for the last little topic of this paper. The snowman. Millions of people made millions of snowmen over the years. Everybody basically knows how a real snowman looks like and what it needs to be called a real or a traditional snowman. He needs a broom, a hat, a scarf, a carrot nose, buttons, a smile, and usually he's made out of three balls of snow. Everybody knows, but no one knows why. Why is there a scarf? Why 3 balls of snow? Why the broom? The author did some research about the topic and he came to the conclusion that no one really knows why a snowman has all those features, which is an interesting thing in itself. Let's give it a try. I had to watch if it's still recording. First, we need to remember that the history of our solar system wasn't as peaceful as conventional cosmology tries to suggest. There were many events in the past, of which some have already been discussed earlier. Furthermore, we need to take into consideration that the Saturn myth with its associated polar configuration. Earth, Mars, Venus, Saturn, and Jupiter were once perfectly aligned for a while. When this configuration fell apart, many electrical discharge events, weathers and electrical phenomena, happened, of which many stories were told. We have also laboratory experiments which reproduced what ancient people have seen in the sky. The following picture, 29, is an attempt to show certain similarities between the snowman and what other people found out about our history. Before we'll take a look at the picture, we want to go through the short list below. The snowman consists of 3 snowballs, Mars, Venus, and Saturn, or plasma instability. The red prolonged nose, Mars, dumping material on Earth. The scarf, often scarf or scarves represent aurora. It's the curtain. The broom, it is representing a thunderbolt, lightning. The stick arms, they might represent also lightning, but also the dendritic pattern. The smile, it represents the planet Saturn. The bull. The buttons, they could represent plasma characters. The snowman. There's a video about the snowman. And maybe the picture quality is also better. The thunderbolt. Now it got stuck. So this is what I think the snowman might represent. A rather wild collection of pictures in order to give a few examples of where the aspect of the snowman could have its origin. There could be many more examples, but from these we might get a good start. Picture credits. Thunderbolts Project movie, Signs of an Alien Sky. Anthony Perret, characteristics of the occurrence of a high current sea pinch as recorded in antiquity. And the Aurora picture I made in the backyard. Oh man, I did it again. So now maybe on the left side it's easier to scroll. Whether Snowman topic is a scientific and relevant or not, or is scientific and relevant or not. Yeah, I don't know if that's a scientific topic talking about the snowman. It could still function as an example of how some parts of our history seem to be forgotten, while still forms and patterns remain. Maybe a sign of the incoherency of widely spread assumptions in diverse scientific branches, taken for truth without questioning the lack of consistency and provability. Never stop wondering and asking. Be curious. Yeah, stay curious. It's interesting. Just look. Thanks.